Hey guys, how's your week going so far? George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. And I want to start you off on Monday morning just asking you some simple questions. How's your week going? Are you attacking your goals? Are you dealing with the same issues? What is going on? How are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're on track or are you feeling like you're stuck? See, it's super important for you to start your week knowing what it is that you're dealing with, knowing what it is that you're wanting to accomplish. So many people just start their week and get into it without a plan. What I'm finding more often than not, and this is just the feedback I'm seeing from people I'm working with, is that most people are cycling through the same problems. And these problems are entirely struggles in their mind. And they're always traced back to your thoughts. And so, sure, there are challenges and obstacles in life, but most of them involve our perspective on the situations, the challenges, the problems. So I want to focus this week a little bit more on hacks for your mind. I want to because I feel like the daily battle that you're going through is a battle that you've got to learn to win on a day-to-day basis if you're going to live your best life. Now, recently, I've had a lot to deal with. I've had a lot of, challenging, situations and things. And I found myself looking back to some of the mentors and lessons I've learned, advice and counsel and answers that I've received over the years. And I want to share some of those with you. Let me do some of the legwork and offer you some perspectives, some ideas, tips, tricks, and things that you can use while you're battling in your mind. Monday is all about mindset. As we get into the week, we'll talk more about business and money and strategies and things like that. But when I'm starting to struggle a bit, there are certain mentors that I go to. It's based on things that I know they can help me to cope and deal with, and in order to get on top of situations in my life. One of those is David Goggins. You hear me talk about him a lot. He's right at the top of my list. So, let's start with him today. And I want to talk to you about a few ideas. David Goggins is well known for his ability to push past the normal limits of his body and look for even the average person for that matter. What he says is that most people live in the 40% range of their best life. In other words, most people think that they're achieving or pushing themselves, but they quit at about 40%. They quit their relationships, their businesses, their fitness goals, and everything they do, really, for that matter. And even if you feel like you're crushing it, most people are not pushing past the limits that they truly have. Goggins talks about the fact it's kind of like a car with a governor or even a thermostat, but a car with a governor, you can go faster. But if you're in a car and you have a governor, you can only go so fast because you're being held back. And these are the things that will help you when you understand that's what's happening. You'll understand why you're not making more progress in your life. And this is what our brains are doing to us on every, minute of every day when we start to encounter difficulty in our lives. They kind of throttle us back. Our brains are designed to keep us safe. They're designed to, make us comfortable, get us out of difficult situations. And it sends us signals that make us want to quit or slow down or walk away, keep ourselves away from things that push us or challenge us or put us in bad scenarios, places where you fear rejection or any other type of scenario. But the problem is that usually our minds quit about 40% of what our true potential is. And I find this absolutely crazy because our minds really are our greatest tool. But after, after really thinking about this over the years and trying to understand it more, we need to realize that our brains are only as good as we train them. And to make it worse, our minds, they know all of our dang weaknesses. They know the language to give us that doubt that creeps up in your mind, the things that cause fear and basically make us quit. They know how to turn us down, our minds. The mind knows you better than anyone else or anything else in your life. But guess what? Believe it or not, you are in control of your mind. You're the driver of this incredible tour. This tool that you have, you are not your mind. You are the driver of your mind. The key is to not let go of the steering wheel. That's what most of us do. We let our minds do what they want. They shut us down. They tell us where to go. They tell us how to back up. And when you let go of the steering wheel, you let go of your mind wanders. And you do that enough times, and you force habits of giving up, habits of being lazy, habits for settling for less or having a mediocre life, or you fall into habits of default backing off when you know you should step on the gas. So how many of you feel like you might just be going through the motions right now, waiting for, the break in the storm, waiting for something better to happen, waiting for circumstances to line up. Well, you are the answer. You are what you're waiting for. The answers are inside you. So why does this happen? Why do we settle? Why do we give up on relationships and business and all sorts of things because we've convinced ourselves that it's not going to work out? Well, basically it's because we crave comfort. Many times we don't see the solutions to fix a problem, so we go another direction. We convince ourselves there's a better scenario. But this is when we really need to look to give ourselves the most hope, because you do have answers to the circumstances you're dealing with in your life right now. They just lie dormant or on the other side of quitting, on the other side of that 40% mark. See, the key is to do what our prosperity pillars principle number 3 says: act in spite of your mood. Act in spite of what your brain and your mind are telling you many times. Because none of us wants to get up and go to the gym and work out in the morning. None of us wants to have that uncomfortable conversation. None of us want to have bad feelings or ego set aside and work through hard, difficult situations with relationship, business, communication. And let's face it, none of us want to be able to build our business or our side hustle after a long day at the job, right? But the truth is, it's only at that point you think you can't go any further that David Goggins says we need to truly create our habits and we need to find solutions. It's at that point where you feel like giving up that the brain learns to become creative because it realizes you're not going to give up. So it's got to come up with answers. See, most of us we tap the brakes before difficult circumstances happen. So our brain's trying to convince us how to shut down instead of trying to come up with solutions. You see, the best life that you're going to live lives outside the pain. It lives past your 40% mark. Your solutions are only going to come when you are experiencing the difficulties. You're only going to grow when you're experiencing the hard times. The brain, your mind, it's so resourceful. Have you ever had a situation where you just know you can't get out of it and you figured it out? Your brain knows your weaknesses, but it also knows how to create solutions. So, what you need to do is you need to stop going back to bed when you feel you're tired, giving, that a common, I'll start on Monday kind of excuse, give up. And, your brain is trying to get you to go to the better opportunity, find a better relationship, do something different in business. And when you tell yourself you're going to quit at the 40% level, your brain shuts down. It wants to shut down. It wants the easy way out. But don't let it control you. You control your mind. You've got to be in control and take responsibility. This is when you need to tell yourself, I'm never giving up. I've not only made a decision and a commitment, but I'll resolve to see this to the end. Tell yourself you have no choice but to succeed, and your brain's going to go to work on solutions that'll help you to deal with it. It'll look for answers. It'll help you be creative. Eric Thomas says, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. Stop worrying about finding solutions to the problem and start focusing on never giving up. Start focusing on being in control and taking responsibility. This is going to be a daily battle for your mind. Trust me. You can develop habits though. Just accept the fact that you will be battling with your mind throughout your life. It's part of how you're wired, and just make it a challenge. Make it a game. And this is where it will become a productive, fun, fulfilling path towards success. You see, we've been searching most of our lives for happiness and fulfillment in the wrong places. We spend our lives wanting happiness, but looking for it in places of comfort and easy path, or externally instead of internally. I know I have. David Goggins continually emphasizes that you won't find toughness, resilience, and fulfillment in a comfortable environment. This is why he challenges himself every single day. He looks forward to being uncomfortable because this is where you find your greatness and your greatest rewards in life, in the difficulties. Learn to love the challenge. And here's something to think about. Science has shown us that you get small dopamine hits even with the small accomplishments. When you overcome a challenge, when you lose a couple pounds, when you go consistent to the gym 7 days in a row, not giving up on that business or relationship, you will get what it needs in order to keep motivating you. You don't need to get to the end goal to actually experience fulfilling emotions. The dopamine hits you get, the experience and the emotions you get along the way are just as powerful. Victory lies in the smallest of steps, the smallest of accomplishments. You will truly experience your best life and emotions by simply choosing to place yourself inside the battle, on the battlefield. Place yourself in discomfort. Let yourself get past the 40% mark where most people give up or start to tap the brakes, because that's where your greatness is going to lie, beyond that point. There are many ways you can help yourself get to this point and beyond. Let me give you just a few. You can visualize what lies inside or beyond the battle. Visualize where you're going. That'll motivate you. Learn to disconnect from the external need for fulfillment. Stop looking outside for ways to feel good about yourself and start challenging yourself. Another thing you can do, know that most fulfillment truly comes from the emotions you experience in these little moments of victory. That's why we say it's the little things in life. And start to find those, look for those, train your brain to find those. Visualize with clear and specific emotions what you're trying to do. Also, learn and discover what motivates you. For me in the morning, sometimes I got to throw on podcasts. Sometimes it's music. You might have pictures. You might have a poem. You might have a recognition experience you've had in the past. Put yourself in that state and find people or things that drive you. Sometimes it's a negative driver. You want to prove something. Use past failures to drive yourself. But there's so many different ways when you become aware that you need to be prepared to drive yourself. Just remember this saying Ed Mylett talks about, one more rep. That's a perfect example of going past the 40% mark. When you feel like you're done, one more rep. Also, you have to realize that you don't have to have a trainer, a coach, or specific tools. You have all the tools inside you right now. Your mind creates so many problems that it never experiences, but it also has the power and tools to overcome all those problems. I've spent most of my life searching for fulfillment, happiness, and joy, and the rewards and the successes. And what I've learned is this. Ultimately, we are all just seeking the emotions that come from that end state we think we're looking for. Recognition, love, fulfillment, success. The secret is that we can experience those exact same emotions right now, in the moment, in overcoming small challenges. Not just end goals. You've already experienced happiness in your life. Think about it. Think about the times that you've had a great experience. You had a good win. You had a great recognition. You might have had somebody compliment you. Learn to live past that 40%. Learn to train your brain to find the success, find the emotions that you're looking for in the current state that you're in, and learn to live past those gaps most people avoid. Learn to never quit on your relationships, your business, your fitness goals, your desires. Learn and train your mind to value the daily battle, and you're going to go much, much further in life. Now, you've got to see this as an exercise in uncovering your greatness. You got to look forward to the battle because it brings you the happiness and fulfillment, and you can do that by finding ways to challenge yourself every day. So put yourself in areas that you know you can push yourself. Your brain's going to find the tools to solve your problems. And yeah, your thoughts do create your life. You are the one who steers your ship. You are the captain of the ship and your mind. And I'm telling you, and I've said it a million times before, it's never too late to start living the life you're meant to live. But you've got to start challenging yourself this week. You've got to learn to love the journey and be in uncomfortable situations. Learn to love the suck is what you've heard a few times. And as David Goggins says, stay hard. Learn to find ways to grow yourself. And that's going to mean going past that point you think you've gone to. You haven't even scratched the surface yet. You've got greatness inside of you. I believe that. So do me a favor. That's my message for today. I want you to go throughout the week and I want you to think of ways that you can push yourself, put yourself in uncomfortable situations and grow this week and share this show. I'm asking you, it would mean the world to me, share this episode with someone that you know. And if you'll do that, it'll also give you the opportunity to be able to teach and train and learn and grow and help others as well, because creating impact is something that will help everyone. That's my message for today. My name's George Wright III. This has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a phenomenal